Alright, we're going to get started in a little bit here. Alright, hello everyone, and thanks for joining me for a live demonstration of Tesla FSD 13. So, I make a lot of videos about FSD 13, but then sometimes people say, oh, and I've done some of these live streams before to show people, hey, no, I'm not making this up. I'm not just choosing the best videos. You could just do a live demonstration, and even on FSD 10, FSD 11, I've done these live videos and shown FSD driving without any intervention. So, this is all unscripted. If something really bad happens, I can't hide it here if we're live. You're seeing FSD as it really is, as if you were really in the car with me. So, I think there's something to that. I'm not claiming that it's always going to be perfect every time. There are different issues it can have. And we'll see if any happen or not, or, we'll just see what the real deal is. So, we're going to find out how FSD performs. We're going to do it live on YouTube. No cutting anything. Whatever happens, happens. Man, this guy's getting close. But, yeah, so let's go ahead. We're going to go to Tesla's Hollywood Diner, the supercharger they're opening there. Okay, this guy's trying to park very strangely. We may need to reverse. And the car is now going into reverse. So the challenging thing here is there's quite a bit of traffic immediately to my left. So that's a little bit of a challenge for the car to pull out into. There's a bus coming right now. So a little bit tricky. And then, of course, we got the car in front of us as well. We got a truck coming now, and then it should be clear. Oh, now this car decides to go too. How bizarre. Were they just trying to be adversarial? And you see the car right away swing into the left turn lane there. Look at that. I couldn't have planned that. This is the capability of the car. This is what it can do live. And I hope that this live stream's still going. Yeah, looks like it is. So, just your typical here in LA, nice sunny day. The streets are crowded with cars. It's about a little drive like this. We're driving about 2 miles right now to the Hollywood Diner supercharger. It's just such a headache with so many different obstacles and crazy people to deal with. That guy trying to park and then moving. That guy who was that quickly. It's not easy. Able to handle it. So we have a lot of exciting news in the Tesla Hollywood Diner. So in the mobile movie screen side for people to, and they've been building this for a while. It should be really fun. You know, there's almost 500,000 Tesla. What you're actually going to be able to UI for the restaurant pops up, and then you can order food, have it brought to your car, go in, whatever. So that's going to be a really cool experience, and hopefully Tesla can actually take that experience and extend it into other restaurants. I mean, wouldn't it be great if anytime you plugged in at a supercharger, you could see restaurants nearby, you could order and go pick up the food, maybe even order ahead of time. This functionality is pretty common. DoorDash, Eats, what else? Grubhub, you know, there's a big list of them. So Tesla could essentially do the same thing for their superchargers and facilitate those transactions and maybe take a cut just like DoorDash and Uber Eats and the others do. Alright, now we need to make a left turn here. There's the left turn lane. We can't quite get into it yet because there's this BMW in the way. So I think that could be huge for Tesla. You know, a lot of people, when they're trying to come up with a valuation for autonomy, they say, well, okay, how many miles traveled, what price can we charge per mile, and that, you know, what's our margin? That's going to be the earnings. But really what's much bigger than just giving the ride is owning the user. When they're in your autonomous car, they're going to be inside your product. They're going to be using the user interface that you've put on the screen. If you make it easy for them to order food, shop for items, do whatever, they'll do that. And you'll be able to buy something, the car will go stop. And so those restaurants that you feature, you know, you're in control of that customer's time. You're in control of where they go. That's really something that's incredibly valuable in itself. And so it's interesting to see Tesla kind of get into this with their own restaurant, but really I see FSD putting Tesla in a position where they're your link to the physical world. And a lot of what you do in the physical world, a lot of what you buy in the physical world goes through Tesla. FSD could really become a big e-commerce platform. So that's interesting. I hope we find out when the shop's going to open. Maybe Tesla could tweet it out or something. Get us hyped about this new Hollywood supercharger, which we're about 10 minutes away from. And there's some other interesting news as well. If you have the safety score, they've now redesigned the screen that shows you how many miles you've driven on autopilot. So now it actually breaks down autopilot miles and FSD miles. So you can see how many miles you've driven on FSD, and apparently the reason that they're doing this is because they're about to offer a discount where the more you drive FSD, the lower your Tesla insurance payment goes. So this percentage will essentially, you know, help you find out what kind of discount you're getting. People who drive more on FSD are probably going to be safer drivers, just because FSD tends to make more conservative, safe driving choices. And they're going to have a lower rate of accidents with two sets of eyes, the human eyes and the AI eyes looking at the car. So it makes sense to give them a discount. So if you have Tesla insurance, that $99 a month for FSD actually might become $80 a month or $60 a month. I don't know what kind of discounts they're offering here. But theoretically, as FSD continues getting better and better, you should be able to have insurance rates go very low if the software can really make it very difficult to impossible to crash, even when you're driving manually. So that's great for people who have Tesla insurance. I'm really excited to see that rolled out and have more details about that. I think they do give you a perfect score for when you're on autopilot, but I think this FSD discount is going to go further than what they've done in the past with autopilot. So, you know, your basic autopilot users who are just using the autopilot that comes in the car, I guess they probably wouldn't get as much of a discount as someone who is an FSD user and buys FSD. Alright, so we're in the middle of the intersection now. The light is turning yellow, but there's still cars going. And look at how beautifully the car handled it. It didn't get stuck in the intersection. Boom. Now we're headed north for 1.5 miles. Diner is. And you can see all the LEDs. Let's see, is stream still going? Yeah, it looks like it's still going. Here's some car peeking out like a crazy person. The software isn't phased. And it's doing this all with just cameras, just with computer vision. No extra sensors needed. It drives me around and it's extremely version. They think the next version is going to be able to do. Then there's also rear-wheel drive Cybertruck. They're working on a $60,000 Cybertruck, one motor only, rear-wheel drive, and around 250 miles range. So less range, only one motor, but it's a base version of the Cybertruck. At $60,000, it might make sense for some Model Y buyers who don't need a ton of range to upgrade. And apparently the tonneau cover might be optional, so it doesn't come standard with the vehicle at the $60,000 trim. It becomes kind of a, you know, optional add-on, and that's kind of interesting. I'd always thought of it as something that just kind of comes with the Cybertruck, a really core part of the product, but I guess you don't really need it. It would reduce range a little bit to not have it, but you know, you can make it an option. That's something to maybe push people towards the higher priced versions and make sure the ASP stays high. Also, the lower priced version might not have power outlets, so that's kind of interesting. As I mentioned. Yeah, the base stuff is the $80,000 price point, and try and maintain. I think it is going to be good to have a lower priced version. You are really seeing in the US market, interest rates are still pretty high. A lot of people can't take out a big loan. Some people are underwater on their loans. An $80,000 or $100,000 car, there's just a lot of people who can't make the math work. So lowering the price, I think, is going to be really key to doubling or tripling volumes from 2024 levels. And the Cybertruck's such a great product. It's the best Tesla. It's so underrated. So hopefully the stream is good and everyone can see and it's not breaking up. But I mean, you know, this is pretty boring stuff here. It's just driving straight. Not exactly rocket science. Maybe we can try something a little more challenging after we get to the Hollywood Diner. Then I think in China they may have some supercharger plans they're launching. I mean, I think it's interesting that they sell unlimited supercharging with the Model S and the Cybertruck, and they essentially raised the price $5,000 for those versions. It'd be interesting if they just sold unlimited supercharging as a $5,000 option. I mean, I don't think it actually makes sense for anybody financially. You know, you'd probably have to drive for years before you spent $5,000, but if someone really wanted to buy it, then why not sell it to them? It is kind of cool to be able to just do whatever you want, drive anywhere, and know it's all prepaid for. Alright, looks like we got a Tesla backing up out of some garage, Model X. And Santa Monica Boulevard is a quarter mile ahead. People in rural areas are probably like, wow, it takes that long to drive a couple miles in LA? Yep, it does. So we're over in West Hollywood now. It's a great location for a supercharger. Really kind of in the middle of everything. This is going to be a really fun supercharger location. It's going to have solar. It's going to be kind of like the Kettleman City Lounge, but better, and in the middle of LA. Alright, let's see what people are commenting while we're stopped. How far am I from the fires? Well, the fires are looking a lot better. They're making progress on putting them out. And, you know, clearly you can see there's no sign of fire here right now. So I'm in West Hollywood. The address of the place is 7001 Santa Monica Boulevard if you want to look that up. Alright, we got a bunch of consumers, a bunch of pedestrians crossing the street. And the car waited for them, waited behind the car in front, of course. And did you see that? You probably didn't, but it slowed down a little bit when it saw that cyclist. And now, here we are. We are, across the street from the diner. You guys probably can't really see it, but it's there. It looks built. Not 100% built, but the major building structure's there. So, yeah, maybe I should have gotten a better angle where you guys could see it better, but let's go do something else. Maybe try and find something a little more challenging here. Why don't we go to, let's go like here. I don't know where this is, but let's go drive down Sunset Boulevard. That's always kind of crazy. So again, don't even have to do any driving. I just hit the button and the car starts again. Got an ambulance, but I'm not really in the path of that. Okay, it's trying to be bold and get over into the left lane again. See, that's not a fluke. That is repeatable, strong performance. That is intelligence. So we're waiting for all the traffic to pass, and then we're going to make a left turn. So we'll go for 15 more minutes here, go to this next destination, and then we'll end it. I don't want to get too boring. So we got a stopped car here. It needs to go around the stopped car. There's a pedestrian. Notice how it stopped and waited for the pedestrian who needed to get into their car. They were an Uber driver or a DoorDash driver. Look at this. Model S, Model Y, Model Y. Why is everyone driving Teslas here? Because you would go insane in Southern California without a Tesla that has autopilot or FSD. If you were sitting in this much traffic all the time, you'd lose your mind. So if you do live in Southern California and you don't have a Tesla yet, you should order one right now. Use my referral link. Go to tesla.coupons and you'll get a referral link. Alright, now we're going to be making a left onto Fountain. If you're in LA and Hollywood Boulevard's jam-packed and Sunset Boulevard is jam-packed, then you take Fountain. Oh, look at that. A little dog. I saw a little dog pop up for a little bit there in the visualization. So yeah, if Hollywood and Sunset are packed, you take Fountain. It's a little secret, but, well, not a well-kept secret, but we're going to get on Sunset Boulevard. That's one of the more busy streets here. There's always, you know, people pulling in, people pulling out, pulling over, pedestrians, and we'll see how it handles that kind of thing live. Let's see, what are the comments saying? Alright, we got a big garbage truck, we got traffic. So there's no left turn arrow here. I have to wait for all the traffic to pass, and then I can turn. Okay, we got a clear moment, and we complete the left turn. No problem for FSD. That kind of it doesn't just handle it, it handles it correctly every time. Now notice here how it's keeping the intersection open. It can see that there's a street here, and look, this guy wanted to turn left. So I might not have always done that. You know, I would sometimes probably block the intersection more than this thing does. But it's always paying attention. It's thinking about not just what we need to do, but what other people need to do. Being courteous of cyclists. It's calculating. Oh, did you see that? Yeah. This guy in his Y gunning it across the street. The car had to stop. This isn't pre-planned. This is just the shit that happens every day in Los Angeles. Look at this. I'm getting left turn lane. This guy's reversing for some reason. Okay? Car just handled it perfectly. Didn't even brake abruptly. Nothing. You know, I can't make this shit up. I can't plan this. This is just what I experience every day. You know? And so, you get in the car. You tell it to take you places, it just takes you wherever you want without any intervention. So, how is that different than unsupervised exactly? The only difference is I'm sitting here, but I haven't done anything. It's already performing drive successfully at some level, right? If you just continue to drive up the reliability, the few things that do trip it up, because there are still things where it can mess up. If you just continue to fix even those rare things, the car becomes capable of driving unsupervised. And eventually we get to a point where allowing the human to have the steering wheel, they actually end up causing more crashes by helping. Because I'm sure FSD users have started to notice this a little bit yourself, where the car is doing over and you say, oh, it's making a mistake. It's going the wrong way. You take over and then you realize, oh, I was actually wrong. It was the car that actually was going the right direction on the right street, making the turn correctly. And then you have to go around and you go, okay, next time maybe I should just let it do its thing. And that's happening more and more often, and it's going to keep happening more and more often. We, on a purely physiological level, can only look in one direction, right? So we have two eyes, we're looking in one direction, and often we're just looking at our phones or looking at the screen or not even looking at the road at all. So this thing's got cameras pointed in every direction. It can see in front of you, it can see behind you, it can see what's to your left, to your right, all at the same time. And it's always focused. It doesn't get distracted, it doesn't have problems, it doesn't have a phone, it doesn't have an X account, it doesn't get notifications, it doesn't get drunk, it doesn't get sleepy, it doesn't get emotional because it had a fight with its wife. It's pure consistency. 24/7, 365. And sometimes you're driving and it just moves over a little to the left. And you go, oh, why did it do that? Then you see a motorcyclist shoot by on your right side. And you go, oh, okay. Before I even saw the motorcyclist, it's reacting. So this is just honestly so useful even as a supervised system today. You don't have to do anything. And it never gets old just saying, hey, take me here, push a button, and it just takes you wherever you want to go. It just is so nice, so relaxing. This thing's got such a great sound system. You can just kind of get lost in the music. Alright, looks like this lane is closed for construction. So FSD is making its way over, it's changing lanes to its left, and doing that in a very slow way so that it integrates smoothly into the flow of traffic. Very nicely done. Again, that's something that might have stumped an old version of FSD. Not this one. And I think we're on Sunset Boulevard now. We're going to be making a right turn onto Londonderry Place in 1.1 miles. Looks like we got some construction here. We got construction workers walking in the street. Got to be careful of them. Oh, okay. Look at my car coming up with a shortcut, going around everyone. Okay, car. It's smarter than the people. And this is in hurry mode, of course. In standard mode, it probably wouldn't do something like that, but that's what I love about hurry mode. It doesn't waste any time. It sees an open lane, and, you know, I wasn't even thinking about that. If I was driving, I probably wouldn't have even thought that that lane was open. And clearly the other drivers were thinking the same way. They had kind of just mentally blocked out that lane. But the car was smart enough to say, hey, wait a minute, I saw the construction end over there. Why is nobody driving in that lane? And it just went around. And you know what? If it had gone around and saw that the lane was actually blocked, I bet it would have rescued itself and gotten back into the left lane completely safely and smoothly. So here we are now on the Sunset Strip. this is a great place to come if you want to find out what to watch on TV. Because every TV show and movie, they have a billboard here, and they go the extra mile with their billboards. Alright, baby reindeer. Kind of interesting. Nobody wants this. I think. I didn't really... Conclave, that was kind of interesting. Severance, love that